Hey everyone, it's Caleb from Kelby's Trains here, and you might notice that I'm actually sitting in my truck right now, and that's because today is the first episode of building my brand new HO scale 4x8 layout, brought to you and sponsored by Berkshire Station. If you haven't checked out Berkshire Station yet, definitely make sure to. They're a train store located in Iron Station, North Carolina. Fantastic store. They have a large selection of HO, N scale, O scale, and even G scale, which is pretty cool because not many stores carry G scale anymore. But yeah, and if you don't have a chance to visit them in North Carolina, they do have an online retail space, which I'll link in the description below. But yeah, so today we're going to Lowe's Hardware to pick up the building materials for the 4x8 layout and actually put together the benchwork, which is the start of any brand new model train layout. Super excited to get started, so let's go. The biggest thing I cannot stress enough when building a table is to make sure that you check to make sure that they are straight. I do recommend buying the $5 premium boards over the $3 ones because they normally are a little straighter. But building a train table, you want to make sure everything lines up nice and level, so I do highly recommend getting the premium ones here. I think these are treated too, so if you're going to be in a room with a lot of windows, these should be fine. They won't sun fade, but yeah, definitely recommend the premium. They're just overall more square and it's going to go a bit nicer, so it's worth the extra $2 per board. All right, we made it back to the house, so let's go ahead and get this off the truck here, and I'll show you exactly what pieces of wood you need to build this 4x8 table that I'm going to build here. So laid out here is everything you will need to build a simple but sturdy and strong 4x8 HO scale layout table. You will need 9 2x4x8 foots. You'll need 1 sheet of 4x8 plywood. You could go for a more expensive route than I did. I just went with OSB board because I'm going to be gluing a 4x8 sheet of insulation board. And this insulation board I chose is 1 inch thick. You can choose whatever thickness you want. I just prefer 1 inch because it's good for sticking trees into it. But yeah, and then other than that, you just need some liquid nails to actually secure the foam board down to the OSB, and then whatever brand of screws you would like, and a saw to cut the boards. And of course, things like a tape measure and a pencil just to measure the boards to what length you need to cut them, which we'll show here in just a minute. But for now, let's go ahead and get started on this build. After laying out the building materials, mark on 3 of your 2x4x8 foot boards a line at 45 inches. Do this twice, one time at the bottom of the board and one time at the top. That way you get 2 boards from one, and this will waste less material. On 2 more 2x4x8 foot boards, mark 33 inches on the top and the bottom. On 2 more boards, mark 36.5 inches at the top and the bottom. Last but not least, don't make any cuts on just 2 of your 2x4x8 foot boards. Keep those at 8 feet. This is going to be important later. After those measurements are marked, go ahead and start cutting. Remember to always wear safety glasses and make sure that you're cutting in a well-ventilated space. In this example, I'm cutting outside, but if you can't do that, just make sure that you have a window cracked or something so you're not breathing in sawdust, or you might upset your allergies. So now, cue the epic cutting montage. After all the cuts are made, take 2 of your boards that are 8 feet long and then 5 of your boards that are 45 inches, and we're going to use those to build the frame. Start by marking on your 8 foot boards at every 2 feet, and this is what we're going to use to help guide where we're going to put the inner supports that are 45 inches each. Next, go ahead and lay out the boards on your OSB board in the pattern that you want, putting 2 45-inch boards at the very ends, and then putting the 8 foot boards on the outside as well, and then putting 3 in the middle by using those 2 foot lines to help you guide it. Next up, take whatever brand of screws that you want and go ahead and screw in the boards. I'm using T25 head screws, but feel free to use any. I've just found really good reliability with the T25 head screws. After that frame is all set and built like that, it should be pretty straightforward and easy. Go ahead and flip over the OSB board so that you can screw it into the top of the frame. Next up, you want to take the boards that you cut at 33 inches and 36.5 inches and bolt those together with them flush at the bottom to make 4 supporting legs for the table. Now the reason we're doing it this way is because then the 33-inch boards will stick out of the frame and will actually create a nice finished look on the table itself, and will also give a little bit more support having 2 boards attached at the bottom instead of just 1. After you have the legs put together, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and transport the 4x8 top to wherever you want it to go, because when you put the legs on, you're not going to be able to get it through the door. So go ahead and transport it to wherever the layout's going to be. As you can see here, this is what I did. And then go ahead and start screwing in the legs. I used about 4 screws per leg. This seemed to be enough to hold the legs down, but you can use more or less depending on your preferences. After you screw the legs on, have a friend help you so you don't hurt your back. Go ahead and flip over the table. So once you get the table flipped over, you're going to want to take some of the liquid nails that we talked about earlier and get a caulk gun. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread the caulk all over the table, and then you're going to actually put the foam board down. Now what we did in this example is we put some screws on the corner of it as well, just to hold the foam board in position with the books that I'm laying on top of it, as well as weights. The reason I did this is because I have cats and I don't trust my cats around the table, to be honest, so it's better just to go ahead and put that down to make sure they don't move the foam as the liquid nails is drying. And then after you put down the liquid nails on the foam, give it at least 24 hours for it to fully cure. And just like that, your HO scale 4x8 bench work is complete. As you can see here, I have a bunch of track that's about to get installed on the layout, so definitely make sure that you stay tuned for the next episode where I show you guys some track planning tips and also exactly how to lay out the track and install it. So yeah, make sure that you stay tuned for that video coming up soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one. So until then, I'll see you guys next time.